For many software developers, working at a FAANG company is their dream goal. It's their life ambition, whether it be right out of college or, a decade into their career. Me? I take the opposite approach. Working at a FAANG company is like my worst case scenario. It's something to be avoided at all costs. And today, I'm gonna dive into that. Hey there, I'm Kelly. I'm a father of 6, a full-time software developer at Rescue Time, Dean of Digital Campus at Signum University, and on this channel, I like to talk about ways that you can get more work done in less time, freeing you up to spend time on other things. Which fits in really nicely with today's topic, not working at a FAANG company. But before diving into that, let's cover what a FAANG company is for those of you who are unaware. If you are aware, just skip forward 30 seconds or so using the timestamp down below. FAANG is an acronym standing for Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, and Google, but colloquially it just means the top of the top when it comes to tech companies. Now, recently, I guess Facebook renamed themselves to Meta, and so if we, shuffle those letters around, we could rename this to MANGA, which would be pretty sweet in my book. But then if we do that, I guess we have to account for Google's renaming to Alphabet, and then we just become MAN, which is lame. So we're gonna stick with FAANG, even though it may not be technically accurate. Just refer to any of the top tier tech companies. Let's talk about some of the allures that drive people to want to work there in the first place. First up, I guess might be the kind of obvious one, and that is these are the top tech companies. If you want to work on something cool, these are a good place to go about doing it. Whether it's VR, AR, self-driving cars, or any other number of cool projects, chances are it's happening at these companies on the toppest of top levels. Plus, for many of us software developers, we are probably really passionate about one of these companies. For me, I've been an Apple geek for over 2 decades now, and working at Apple, I have to say, would be pretty sweet. I loved the idea, at least, of being at that company when they were working on the original iPhone, or, whatever else is coming next. That is really cool. So is the prestige, which is point number 2, of being able to tell your friends, hey, I work for Apple, which is not the same thing as saying I develop software apps for the Apple platform, which everyone just assumes then that you work for Apple. I don't. See? I don't work for Apple. And I don't want to, which is the point of this video. But besides friends and family knowing the company that you work for and being able to tell other people about that, it also looks great on the resume. Being able to say ex-Googler looks really great when applying to new companies or in your Twitter bio, say if you're reaching out for some venture backing. But it's not the end-all be-all, and frankly, a lot of people that want to work at one of these companies want to work at these companies because of the money. Yes, it's a bit crass, but it's true and it is a job, so I'll allow it. Yes, you can find better salaries working at other companies, but when you look at these numbers in aggregate, the salaries, the benefits and stock options, and then the bonuses, as a yearly total, these numbers are often mind-blowing for someone with experience. But money isn't everything. And if you only care about the money, I will share reasons later on why it may not be all you think it is. So let's head down that track now. Why don't I want to work for a FAANG company, and why I think you should reconsider it if you want to. First of all, I really value small companies, not just small teams, small companies. I love being able to get to know all of my teammates, know what's going on in their personal lives, or being able to interact with people from marketing or customer support or user interface design. That's really important to me. I don't want to be just a measly cog in a larger machine. Don't get me wrong, cogs are important and there are places for cogs, like in my watch. And I think we all have our place, need to work together to make something great, but I want to see that whole picture. I want to know where we as a company are going. As part of that, I want ownership for a project. I don't want to be stuck working on some tiny sub-segment of a sub-segment of an app. I want to be in those meetings that help steer the direction of our product as a whole, which is so much easier to do at a small company. But even more than that is the larger category of work-life balance, which, once again, I know is manageable and doable at FAANG companies. But it's a whole lot easier when you're working for a small company that really values life outside of work. No, I'm not talking about you unlimited vacation time companies with the asterisk that says we know you'll never use them because we know you'd rather be here than taking vacation time anyway. Those companies, they should just go out of business. Yeah, that's harsh. But it's true. Don't treat your employees like cogs in the machine. Treat them as people, as humans, worthy of your respect, and frankly, a time off of work. About 12 years ago, when I was first getting into my professional career as a software developer, Yolanda and I made the decision that flexibility in my schedule would triumph pretty much everything else. You see, we wanted to have a large family, and with 6 children now, there's no reason to doubt that that hasn't come true. We also wanted to homeschool them, and I wanted to be able to work from home so I could help out with that or just interact with them whenever I wanted to. And on top of that, with Yolanda being from Switzerland, I wanted the option of being able to pick up our life at a moment's notice and fly over there and stay there for 3 months whenever flights became cheap enough for us to be able to do that. For this to be able to happen, I needed to have the flexibility to shift time zones on short notice, or say, hey, this day just got really crazy. I'm not working today. I'll make it up on the weekend or next week. Or, just say, hey, on this day, I'm going to work in the morning, next day, I'm going to work in the evening, and 3 days after that, I'm going to work every other hour because, hey, why not? The thing is, the more people that are involved in something, the crazier things get, the more complexities arises. And with a family of 8, they arise. And I want the flexibility to be able to deal with them. Something that really wouldn't be possible at a FAANG company. Also, I know that this isn't true of every single person, or even probably most of the calendar year. But I have heard plenty of horror stories from friends who work at these major tech companies, being forced to work 80-hour work weeks for months on end just to get a product done and launched by a deadline. For me, that's just not good. It's not acceptable. Yeah, okay, push come to shove, I can do an 80-hour work week, or maybe 2 in a row if I absolutely have to, if it's something I really care about. Anything more than that though, first of all, I'm degrading my health, physically, spiritually, and mentally, but I'm also really hurting my family. Now, this wasn't a goal at the outset, but the fact that last year Rescue Time switched to a 32-hour work week, yes, a 32-hour work week, has been just amazing. It's really allowed me to put more time into other things outside of work, such as my volunteer work at Signum, my family time, or even my hobbies, such as violin and photography, or frankly, this YouTube channel. Let's get back to that money topic that I promised we'd get to earlier in this video. Yes, when you look at the total compensation that I receive for my work as an employee at Rescue Time, it is probably much less than I would be getting at a comparable position at a FAANG company. Heavy asterisk here. I mean, so much unknown there. But the thing is, I live in Western New York. There's not many places with a lower cost of living in the United States than Western New York. Certainly not New York City, Seattle, or San Francisco. The fact that we can choose to live or move almost anywhere in the world while keeping the salary that I have has made an incredible difference in being able to have and sustain the large family that we have. Plus, some of my expensive hobbies. See prior videos. But even more importantly than that, the thing is, I'm a rural boy at heart. I love being surrounded by nature, being able to step out into my backyard and enjoy peace and quiet and tranquility. Don't get me wrong, I love cities. I love traveling to cities, spending a week taking full enjoyment of all that city life has to offer. Museums, performance arts, restaurants, just walking around the street and enjoying coffee shops with a friend. The fact that you can walk and go anywhere by walking alone is kind of a dream to me as a walker. But I'd love to visit those cities and return home. I don't want to live in one of these companies, which is changing, I'll give you that. in a post-COVID world, but in general, FAANG companies want you to live within a reasonable distance of one of their headquarters. From all of the friends I've talked to who work at a FAANG company, it is clearly a lifestyle choice. Their life choice is to work at this company. That defines who they am. No, that defines who they are. And while I value work, I don't want it to define me. It's certainly a part of who I am, but it's only a part. There's so much more, and I'm just terrified that if I worked at one of these companies, it would just play into my workaholic tendencies and just take over my life. So I'm jealously protecting and defending it by choosing not to work there. If you want to hear my initial impressions of About Rescue Time's switch to 32-hour work week, check out this video up here. Otherwise, if you want to learn about one of my expensive hobbies, hey, camera, check out this video up here. Either way, I hope you'll stick around and tune in next time. Till then, bye.